what you think, doofus. You drive as fast as you can, challenging the corners.
The corners, huh? That's really the kind of thing you do for fun?
I wouldn't be doing it if it was boring. Look, you're a dude, right? And you're telling me you don't feel the unquenchable desire to tackle those raging hairpins?
Oh, no. That's really the kind of thing you do for fun?
I wouldn't be doing it if it was boring. Look, you're a dude, right? And you're telling me you don't feel the unquenchable desire to tackle those raging hairpins?
Oh, no.
Man, that's crazy. I got stopped out literally right on the number value at 70. If I had been like 69, 68, this 2-lot would have eventually taken off. That's such a bummer, man. It's such an unfortunate thing. And then it's going to, of course, go right up to BWAP, ain't it? That is so unlucky. Holy crap, man. Talk about unlucky. Like 470. Oh my god.
Order filled.
Let me be the blesser of all souls.
So I'm really hoping this goes up to VWAP and then some to the +1s. I mean, the T line is right here, and T line's right here, and then we have support levels right here. So if I were to mark that out, look, something like that. I'm hoping this stays the course, because unfortunately with my prior trade on the Dow, I got stopped out literally literally right here. You can't see the red arrow, but it's right there. And I got stopped out like right before it took off in my favor. I just, like, if I was at like 469, 468, 467, I'd have been fine. But because I was at 45, 470, I got stopped out right before it made its move. Like, it doesn't, you can say, you know, don't use the word unlucky in trading or whatever, because it's not about luck, it's not gambling or whatever, but that was just straight up unlucky. Maybe I shouldn't have put it at such like a roundabout number or whatever, but oh man. If I can get I don't know why that's being so stubborn. If I can get up to the VWAP and then get up to the plus ones with the runner, I think I'll be okay. I'll probably be like, you know, maybe like $30 on the day, which is better than nothing. I've been trying to stay confident and make moves, and yeah, like I said, the Dow, I mean, that would have really just set the precedent for the rest of the trading session, especially if this one wins, but it is what it is. You know what I didn't do today, though, that I did get better on? You see how, like, the touch points, this is kind of almost a touch point. At the -2, this is a touch point, this is a touch point. At least today, like, no matter what happens, I didn't buy in right here. I didn't buy in right here and then it go down egregiously. I waited to buy in at least when it got lower. Not to say that it can't go lower here or could have gone lower here. Like, you know, like I buy in and it goes up maybe like to the -1s and goes down. But I didn't buy in right here and then get absolutely shafted. So no matter what, I'm happy with today's outcome, because I was crying about that yesterday and complaining because the prior session, which was Friday, today's Tuesday, but yesterday when I was complaining about that, in particular the prior session, I did something exactly like that. I think it was on the Dow. I bought in like right here and then it just dropped to the floor. So I'm really hoping it breaks through this pivot resistance, but we'll see. I'm going to hold this just a little bit longer, see if it'll break through past VWAP up to the +1s. That's the plan. I really want to stick with that. If this just starts down churning, I'll just exit out and I'll still make a bit of a profit. My prediction about this is that it's going to drop a little bit before it rises. The problem is I can only let it drop so much before I'm at break even. With this one contract, that is. Oh. You know, to be honest with you, with this one, I can already tell you right now, even if I hadn't got stopped out, I probably would have taken a profit right here, VWAP. Had I done this the right way. I'd have probably taken one at VWAP, and I don't know. With the way I entered at a -1, and then entered at a -2, it would have been a real tough call. I would have taken my first profit at VWAP, and then I don't know how I would have felt about this. This probably would have had me exiting out. But ideally, in a perfect scenario, what I would be doing with this would be the same. Entering at a -2, entering at a -1. I took my first profit, and then the next goal would be up to the +1s. That would have worked out great here if I hadn't got stopped out literally on the dot. Oh man. I don't know if I would have been at 69, if that would have stopped me. I think it would have. For a split second, and I can't remember what judgment call I was thinking about making, but I was thinking about putting this at 67. I think it was because of the off numerical value. It's 17. I think I was thinking about putting it at like 66 or 67, and I was like, you know what, nah. I don't need to be moving my stop loss around a whole bunch. And had I done that, that would have unironically saved me. I would have seen that and been like, dang, I made the right call, except in this case I made the wrong call. It is what it is. I just need this to get to the +1s, ideally. In circumstances like this where you're carrying into the lunch session, sorry, it's hard to figure out when things are stalling out like this, if it's just going to continue up in your favor or if it's going to go out. Because in a normal session, when it's starting to slow down like this, my thought process is it's likely going to go against me. But in this circumstance, I can't really say. I'm just going to watch price action and just play off of that. There's really nothing else I can think of that's going to aid me in this. I think in order to accelerate my odds of success, I need to get back into sizing in though. Big question is, how far is this going to go down? Is it going to go down to the -1s and continue up? I think that's what I'm going to be looking to do. And if this trade doesn't work out, it's pretty much going to be a scratch for the day. Right, because all too often you see it touch VWAP, hit -1s, or maybe a little bit below that. I don't think I really want to let it get down to the prior support pivot point. But it definitely stands a chance of doing that, assuming that it's still going to carry up. We have touched the 233 EMA trend line. Already, that was at 11 o'clock, sometime around there. it would make the most sense that it's going to go in, drop below, hit VWAP, and then continue up in this -1 area up to the +1s. I mean, MYM is just... I guess I really should be trading the MYM. It did it yesterday too. You watch, if I trade Dow for a nice move up tomorrow, it'll do this on the MES, and then S&P will, or the Dow will be looking stagnant like the S&P. I did initially make the judgment call earlier today that Dow looked more volatile, but then I saw this drop down and I said, ooh, okay, I can probably buy in since it's dropped down to T-line, and that's kind of what made me decide. But MYM also went down to T-line too, so this would be it. Ideally, I think that, you know, my thought process right here is that MES is lagging behind, and in a minute I'm about to have that turnaround that I'm looking for. That's what's going through my head. Alright. Yeah, I stepped away for a little bit. Had to use the restroom. So, this is doing what I wanted to do for now. It hit the -1s. And ideally, since we're in an uptrend day, I'd want to see it still be hitting these +1s. We'll see. This is what we got going on the charts right now. It hit down to the resistance. Now the idea 6505 is kind of its like break point. We pass this up. Honestly, I might move my sell limit up to the... Let me just do that now. I'm going to move it up to the +2s, and I'm just going to baby it around the -1s area if we get up to there. This is kind of what I see unfolding. As you can see with the current session VPOC, it's right here, and then the prior day session VPOC is right here. So that's why there's a lot of loitering in this price range. My idea was that it's going to get to the previous high of the day, because you can't really look for anything else, really. There is a downtrend, of course, but if this hadn't been touching T-line and already hit like a support point or a buy zone, this would kind of be really, really futile. I mean, it still might be the same end result here, considering we are in a downtrend, but that's the reigning idea behind this philosophy of it turning around here. Otherwise, if T-line was like, I don't know, let's say here, when we were up here, I'd be expecting it to drop down further. We're getting higher before it dropped down. Well, so far what I see is we had a bounce here. It did down a little bit below. Minus ones. We touched VWAP. Minus ones. VWAP. Minus ones. So it could just keep doing the same thing. Or this might be the point at which it decides to break. And of course, you know that's what I'm hoping. Kind of something that's going through my head right now is we're at VWAP line right now, and we're also at VPOC. We're like just above it, barely. And this has been right here is the point of like decent resistance, and I know oftentimes past the lunch session we'll have a complete turnaround and there'll be a lot of momentum in the opposite direction. And the question is, I could get out right now and just be done with the day, or I can wait for this after lunch momentum to kick in and have a fairly big green day that goes in my favor. So there's a battle between me just getting out right now and just calling it a day and sitting here for however long it takes for the plus ones plus twos to come to fruition. Could be in the next 5 minutes, could be the next 2 hours. And with this trendline trajectory, which I don't really use trendline for this method at all, but I am noticing that, I should hit my take profit in about 2 years, so just waiting on that.
Order filled.
Okay, this is going to be a quick recap of the day. First trade I made for the day on Dow was right here at the 940 mark. I got stopped out for a small loss because I was trying to, kind of super scalp. Didn't work out. Next trade, I re-entered here on the +2s, and then walked away from that at the VWAP line. The next trade I took, I'm not really sure. I think I got stopped out again for another small loss, trying to super scalp it, and then I entered for, after I saw it developing, I entered at the -1s for VWAP touch. So I kind of lost a small one, gained a bigger portion, lost a small, gained a bigger portion, and then I was kind of like, all right, screw this. Let me actually like put some decent trades in with some like reasonable dynamic stop losses. I had my stupid fun with, trying to place really tight stops in the event that, went favorably in my direction and didn't go against me, but it did both times. So I took a trade here at the -1s since we had like a tight range, as you can see here, kind of expecting it just to touch VWAP again. Well, it didn't, and then I made the grand mistake that I had before. Shouldn't have done this. Starting at the -1s, and then buying in at the -2s quickly after that, which was like a really stupid mistake. I know in the training program that I'm in, my main mentor, he'll do that. He'll, what he called peppering the books. It's cool. I really don't like this style of sizing in at the at the 1s and then sizing in again at the 2s. I'd rather size in at the 2s and then size in at the 1s for a touch on VWAP. And if I had done that right here at the -2s and then waited for a pullback to the -1s, it would have worked out in my favor. I could have taken either both profits, or I could have taken one profit here at VWAP and tried to see about a runner, which would have worked out great. So I need to stay more disciplined with that. And then my next trade, which was my last, I sized in here at the -2s. Let me pull up the actual portion here, which kind of made me convicted to do so. Pull that back up. So right around here was the lowest point of the day so far, which came into the buy zone. Right here, which you can see. And good call on my part, because not only were we in the buy zone, but we were in the 233 EMA, which was exactly what I was kind of banking on, as these two confluences, and then coming up to this VPOC, and then I was hoping for this one, and then a little bit higher. So now you can see that. So I entered down here at 64.94, and then we went down. I entered right about here, which was just outside like the typical buy zone. I just wanted to see it kind of play out and start coming back up, and sure enough it did. So I got a little bit of confirmation there, and then I sized in -2s, then -1s, and I took my first profit at VWAP. So I was able to learn from my mistakes from the prior trade and then correct it this trade all in the same session, which oftentimes I don't get a chance to do. So I was really happy that I got to say, okay, I got to stop doing that, and then I did it the right way, and I got it to pan out in my favor. The only problem with this trade was I entered at 10:38, and I waited until 1:20-ish to end the trade. I put it here as my stop, and if I had put it a little under, of course, lo and behold, it would have kept going up. I don't know how much further it's going up. I was kind of wanting to target the +2s, but I'm sure it'll go there now, but that's fine. I was kind of done with this, considering I'd been doing this for 3 hours, a 3-hour trade. Oftentimes these long trades don't go in my favor, so I was a little hesitant to keep staying, but I had all the right confluences to see this through, so a win is a win. I'm very happy about that. So today is a green day. I'm like up $66, and you know, the time put in versus the reward is, really questionable, but I was happy that I at least got to do this in basically slow-mo, so I got to see and, constantly make confirmations. It hit up to the VWAP line and never really exceeded too far past. I mean, it got down to here at one point, but that was before I took a profit at VWAP, and once I took that profit, it bounced and bounced again. It was just really slow, and I got to see it to the end, so very happy about this trading day. I'll keep staying disciplined and learning from my mistakes. I'm still getting used to this trading strategy. Again, my daily risk budget is always very solid, and even before I entered this program to get specialized help, I'd already been doing really good at that, and apparently that's just like the one big problem that most traders have. Not me. My problem is actually having winning positions. They're usually going against me, even if I set the dynamic stop loss. I've been setting dynamic stop losses a lot, minus the quick scalps that I tried to do today, which failed. And unfortunately, what's been happening over the last 2-3 weeks is I've just been losing more trades than I've been winning. But I'm now really starting to pay attention to entry criteria to try to close those gaps, and try to be in winning more winning positions. Because like I said before, my winning days were usually like $50 to $80 roughly, and then my losing days were like 100 to 180 was the worst day I had on Friday. Because I was really trying to make something happen on Friday, and there was high volatility, and it just went against me every time, and I just got completely stopped out. For then, after that, it went in my favor, but I'd already reached my daily risk budget, with the $20 spread till max limit. So, good day overall. If you have any questions or comments, leave that down in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.